All right, good morning. Welcome to my Silver Sneakers Chair Yoga class. I'm Olivia. This is North Presbyterian Church. We are in Erie County in New York, and there is a mask mandate going on, so I have a mask on, and so does everybody in my class. I hope you can still hear me. Again, welcome to class. All right, let's have a seat against the back of the chair, if you will. So settle on back. Time to get rid of that stuff that keeps you from keeps you disconnected. We're going to try to reconnect. We're also going to learn how to walk outside in the black ice today. So if you missed it earlier, we had a little excitement around here. Somebody did fall in the parking lot.
And she was in and out a couple of times.
Of what?
The building.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. All right. So settle back into the back of the chair. Take a deep breath in. And just exhale. Settle on in, let that front body just kind of sink into the back body. And with each exhale, let go a little bit more. And then while you're there in your seat, just slide your fingers out to your knees, all right? And then come on forward. Deep breath in, lift the heart. And then exhale, roll that spine back into the chair. The arms go straight, and you drop your chin. All right. Come on back up. Sit up nice and tall, lift the heart. Exhale, roll the spine back into the chair. Drop your chin down towards your chest. So we get a little seated cat and cow here. Lifting the heart, and then push the sit bone, the iliac crest of your hip bone and the spine into the chair, and just keep going a couple more times with your own breath while I turn off WGRZ or GR, the football station. Again, keep going. And then scoot on out to the edge of your seat. And again, sitting up tall on the sit bones. Your feet are pressing into the ground, all right? So all parts of your foot, and you're not rolling off to the side. So work at doing that and keeping grounded. As you press into the feet, notice how you start to lighten up on the seat, right? So nice and tall, little tuck in the chin. We're going to take the head over, and let's leave it there. Reach that left arm out. Ooh, you're going to feel some tingling in that left arm. And then come right back in. We go the other way. Tip the head. Reach that right arm out till you feel that tingling. And back up again. And then same thing. Reach out. Drop the chin. And one more time, the other side. Reach out. Drop the chin. Now let's leave that arm there. Turn both palms to the front. We'll take both arms out now and press the knuckles back, lifting the heart. Exhale, as if you were going to squeeze in a basketball right here. And again, inhale and exhale. So let's take this and say what we're squeezing in is a one of those big cement blocks. So it's heavy, so you have to fire on the abdominal muscles to do that, right? And squeeze, hold, hold, hold. Drop the chin, that's okay too. But work this, squeeze this in. Now you've got to hold that there, and it's heavy. And one more time. All right, left hand down, right arm goes up, reaching, and we switch. Again, reach, and we switch, reach, and we switch, and reach. Okay, let's leave that right arm up there. And we're going to take the left one up too. So now you're going to hold the ceiling up. So a little bend in the elbows, like you're going to push it up And then it's going to drop back down and tuck the chin. Elbows back, lifting up. Elbows back, tuck the chin, reaching up. Elbows back, tuck the chin. Now right here, uncurl the arms and hinge forward here. So I'm in this seated chair pose. I'm going to take my left hand on my left thigh. And then let that right arm reach forward. So coming into powerful pose with one arm right here. Stay right here. Drop that hand. Take the other one up. Whoop. Yep. Holding right here. So try to square up your body here to this. All right. Reaching fingers are going to reach far from the tailbone. Find length in the arm as best you can. And then switch. We go the other side. Whoop. Up goes. Reach fingers far from the heart. Now, belly in. We're going to try the other arm as well. Powerful pose. Bring the heart forward. Put the sit bones back on the chair. Forward fold. Deep breath in. And again, forward fold. Inhale, lift up. Forward fold. This time we're going to take that halfway rise. Slide up the legs, heart forward. Beautiful. Look over to the right side. Try to look behind you. And then the left side. Try to look behind you. Back to the center. Eyes up, heart forward. And push all the way back up. Bring that right knee in. Deep breath in. And then slide it out. Now you can put it on the ground. Or if you want to keep it up, that's fine too. But bring it in and bring it up. And then out. Bring it in and maybe bring it up, out to the side a little bit. And again. One more time. Let's hold this out here. Now, once again, try to let that leg be dead weight. Okay, so you're going to use your arms to do this. And watch when I here. Try to get that body head over heart over pelvis right to the front, reaching out. Nice, nice. All right, so we're going to circle this around. Again, just let it be dead weight. And try to hold still in the body. Beautiful. All right, one more time. Slide it out in front. Slowly let it go back down. I'm going to hinge forward, look towards the toes, and then bring the heart forward. You may want to soften that knee up a bit right there, but you should feel a nice lengthen down the back. And with this hand, release, push off that thigh muscle, roll back up, and then bring that left leg with you. Okay. Bring it up, slide it out. On the ground is just fine. Lifting and out. Lifting out. Put that other foot on the ground there, Jackie, if you will. Yeah. And again, two more. All right, let me hold this up. Now, again, let that leg just go dead weight. You really feel those arms work when you do that. So just let it hang in your hands. You can grab underneath, that's fine, but just let it hang and you're sitting head over heart over pelvis. And then we'll circle it around. Try to keep it dead weight. It's a lot of work on the arms. All right, one more time. Extend it out. Hinge forward. Yeah, look down towards your toes first, and then bring the heart forward. You may want to put a little bend in that knee. It's up to you. Pull that toe back to the ceiling. Breathing deep, release, and push off. All right. Hands at the heart, deep breath. Turn to the right, let the arms float down. Nice. And then all the way back up, deep breath in. To the left, let them float down. All the way up, arms out to the side. I'm going to take my feet a little bit wider for a little movement in the spine here. So belly in. You're going to contract this right side and let it get you back up. Same thing on the left. Contract it, let it pull you right back up. So I'm not doing this in my hips, right? It's all in the right there at the base of my rib cage. Contract that side. And again, too much for you, go ahead and put the hands here, here, or here. That's okay too. One more time. All right, both arms up. And hands back to the heart. All right, so we're going to stand up. Use your hands on the thighs, the chair, whatever you need. Deep breath. Exhale, we rise all the way up. Hands go up. Forward fold. Halfway rise. And then circle sweep. Pass through that chair pose all the way back up. Deep breath in. And all the way down. All right. Then you have to move a little bit. A little shake out side to side. And we're going to move around to the back of the chair. Grab yourself a drink of water. And let's get going. facing dog first. So stepping back, feet underneath the hips, soften the knees as much as you need to get into this. And then I want you to tip the pelvis forward. So the tailbone and the sit bones are directed to the back wall. And bend the knees as much as you need to do this. I also like to think of like my pelvis is a fishbowl, and so I'm going to tip all that water that's in that pelvis out onto my thigh muscle. So let it tip forward, right? Wonderful. Step out to the right on the right foot just a little bit. Now I'm going to sink into my right knee, take my right hand on top of my left, and looking over towards a little more towards the left leg of the chair. Nice side stretch. All right, let's go the other way. Step out to the left, bend the left knee, left hand on top of the right, and then looking back towards your hands or towards the right leg of the chair. All right, coming back, let's step that left foot a little forward of the right foot. Okay, so kind of pyramid pose, where we're going to do this sort of chaturanga kind of thing. So I'm going to sink into my back knee. Let me show you from the side here first. I'm going to sink into my back knee right here. And then I'm going to bend the front knee, let the heart come forward, and then push into the chair, lift nice and tall. See how my arms have gone straight here? And then I'm going to sink into that back knee, push forward, sink into the front knee. My face comes right past the chair, and push right back up, lifting the heart there. And again, find that length. You may want to move the feet back a little bit. It's up to you entirely. You may want to lift that back foot to the heel or to the ball of the foot, or lift it. It's up to you. One more time on this side. And lifting. All right, we switch feet. Same thing, both feet on the ground first. Okay, so pyramid pose here. Now we're going to sink into that back knee. Drop those elbows towards the ground. Push up and lift. Again, you may want to lift the heel. You may want to lift the foot. Up to you entirely. Exhale. Here's the inhale. Here's the exhale. Here's the inhale. Exhale. You should feel pretty good. And again, one more time. Inhale. And exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Now, take the gaze over the chair and walk into the chair. Okay, so now we learn how to walk on the black ice. And you all know this if you've been to Wegmans before. You see that sign out there? You walk like a penguin. So let's just make our way around the chair. What I don't want you to do is lift your feet up, because the moment you lift your feet up, one leaves the ground and there goes the balance. So you literally scoot your feet along the ground. And if you've never looked old before, you will now. It doesn't matter. If that ground looks shiny, try it. You just got to do it. It's not pretty, but boy, is it functional, huh? So your feet never leave the ground, for sure. You won't ever forget that now, will you?
Oh, no.
Okay, okay. All right. Come back to mountain pose. All parts of the feet are on the ground, yeah? Okay, just like they are when you're walking. Put a little micro bend in the knees. Let the tailbone draw downward towards the ground. All right, not underneath you, just down to the ground. And then as you breathe in, breathe up that spine and out the crown of the head. All right, keep the chair handy. If you need it for balance, it's okay. Maybe try to close your eyes. It's up to you. Fingers are always helpful for balance. One more breath. All right, deep breath in. Bring the hands back to the heart. And step back on the right foot. You don't need the chair, don't use it. Toe ball, heel down, and we come up into warrior one. Deep breath. Beautiful. What is that? Is it a phone?
Sounds like an alarm.
It does. It sounds like an alarm. You're supposed to be someplace? Chair yoga? Forward fold. So what I want you to do is to hold everything in the low half of your body steady, okay? Front knee is bent over the ankle, back leg is straight. And as I hinge forward, I'm not sinking into any knee. I'm holding on nice and strong in the low half of my body. One more time. All right, deep breath in. I'm going to turn to the left. You can use the hand on the chair if you need it. Come right back up. Turn to the right. Use the hand on the chair if you need it. Deep breath in. Reach to the ceiling. Step that foot forward. All right, we go back on the other, hands to the heart. Back on the other side. Toe ball heel. Warrior one. Knee over the ankle. Back leg is straight. Release the shoulders. All right. Yeah, nice. Strong back leg. Strong front leg. Here we go. Forward fold. Rise back up. Again, exhale down. Rise up. And try not to move this. You want to keep this very steady. One more time. This time we're going to open up to the right. Use that hand on the chair if you need it. Rise up. Forward fold. And this time we're going to open to the left. Use the chair if you need it. All the way back up. Reach to the ceiling. Step the feet together. And hands back down. Back to downward facing dog. Nice little flow here. Bring the hands to the thigh muscles. Soften your knees. We're going to reverse swan dive all the way back up. Let's reach for that left wrist. I'm going to take a little baby arc over. Press the heel of the hand away. And back to the center switch. Deep breath. Exhale. Press the heel of the hand away. Put one hand on the chair if you need it. Beautiful. And release back down. Coming back to mountain pose. Again, little micro bend in the legs, tailbone to the ground, belly pulled in, pelvic floor lifted. And breathe. All right, let's step forward. Come around to the right side of the chair. I'm going to rock back into my back heel. Toes are facing straight ahead. I'm not on the tightrope. I'm on railroad tracks. Reaching to the ceiling. Deep breath in. Elbow and knee come together. Reach back. Sink all the way into the heel. So go ahead and rock back into it. Bring it up. Ground through back there. Now, if you don't need that other hand, then we try both hands. It's up to you entirely. Reaching. And it may not go that far. Right? If you're good with no hand on there, but the knee only comes here, that's fine. You decide. And again, one more time. And back. All right. Hand on the chair. We're going to windmill around into warrior two. So I've got the chair handy there. You need it even more. Go ahead and move it into place. All right. Reaching forward with the left hand, back with the right. Check and see they're parallel. Yep. And then looking over the, let's see, right toe, left toe should face the front. Left toe to the front. Front, on the front here. Thank you. Okay. Palm to the ceiling. Let's go back to reverse. Left hand up, right hand down. Reaching. All right, let's level this back out. Now let those fingers reach to me into extended ankle. You're going to rest the wrist, reach to the ceiling, turn to the left wall if you can. That feels good. I'm sorry, right wall. That feels good. And that right arm is reaching skyward. All right, drop that hand to the back. It's going to circle around. I'm going to put my hand on the chair, and I'm going to lift right to the front. Lift that back heel, and we come up into our high lunge. Little baby arc over the chair, and down. Swing that arm down, and again, little baby arc over. Another way you have to keep ground. Put that back heel in the ground there, or the ball of the foot in the ground, not the heel. So you've got balance back there. Nice. One more time. All right, and then just into our high lunge. Find balance, squeezing the inner thighs together if that helps you, and maybe release. Hands at the heart, hands on the chair. Breathing. Lovely. Okay, we're going to reach to the ceiling, slide that back foot in. Forward fold. Halfway rise. And circle sweep. Pass through chair pose all the way up. Okay, turn to the chair. You should be in front of it. Hands on that chair there, like you're going to pick it up, right? But don't. And then we're going to take that same leg you just moved. So I'm thinking it's the right leg, the leg that's closest to me, and slide it out and then maybe let it leave the earth. All right, so I've got a micro bend in that supporting leg. You're going to lift from the heel. Now, if you need to keep that leg low, that's fine. A lot of energy going out through the heel. Let the heart come forward here. Breathing deep. One more breath. Now, knee to nose, bring it in. Send it right back out. Wherever it lands, it lands. Knee to nose, scoop the belly, beautiful. Send it out. Heart moving forward each time, all right? 2 more times. You look towards the knee, and then you look towards the ground in front of you there. 1 more time. And out. All right. Lower that foot, reach to the ceiling, hands all the way up, feet together, deep breath in. Ta-da! Down. Really nice. Okay, let's go the other side. We're going to step in on the right foot and back on the left foot, and we're going to come into our warrior 2 first. This front heel bisects that back foot. If you need to take a little out to the side a little bit better, that's okay. Right foot faces the front of the room. There you go. Back. Well, let's work on you for a minute there.
Okay.
There you go. Right foot faces the front of the room. Move that back foot, the left foot back, just a little bit. Yeah. So you are turning to the left wall here. All right. You're not looking at me. Nobody's looking at me. Yeah. And your arms are extended. Now look over those 2 peace fingers in the front. So now you are going to look to me. Yeah. Front knee over the ankle. Back leg is straight. Right. We got this. Arms parallel, palm to the ceiling. Here, we're coming back into reverse, or up into reverse, reaching skyward. Let that left arm slide down the leg. Maybe it's going to slide into your back right pocket. It's up to you entirely. You need that chair, then go ahead and drop that hand, other hand up. Thank you. Other hand up. Follow her. And breathe. All right, so now we're going to level this out into warrior 2. Slide forward a bit and rest the wrist, letting that arm reach skyward. That chair is right there next to your fingers if you need it. You're looking again to the left wall, maybe turn the gaze to the ceiling. It's up to you entirely. One more breath. Dropping that arm down. Here's where we're going to swing around to the chair. So you want to lift that back heel, toes facing straight ahead. I'm using the chair. We're going to reach skyward. You can step that back foot in, whatever feels good to you, but get yourself up in what we call high lunge first. Stand on the chair. I'm taking mine off, but use the chair as much as you need to. All right, then I'm going to take a little arc over. Come right back up. And one more time. I don't know, do we scoot down in front? No. Okay. So now knee, elbow to knee. Deep breath in, exhale. Bring that knee in. Now come all the way back. Let's drop into the heel. All right? And then up. If you don't need a hand on the chair, don't use it, but spend time. Drop back into the heel so you reconnect with the earth. Toe, ball, heel of the foot. Again, 2 more. And again. Nice. Reach to the ceiling, feet together, and return to the chair, hands on the chair. Now that leg that's closest to me, you're going to slide it out behind you, flexing the foot. Be sure the glute, hamstring are working there. Squeeze them. I can't believe that was in your way, those short little legs of yours. Here, let me do this. Nobody's using this chair. Okay. Okay, so lengthen that leg behind you. Bend the knee as much as you need to. You're standing on, but try to get that leg that's up straight. Heart moving forward, so don't look down towards the hands. In fact, what I want you to do is almost dome the back. So you're going to push into the hands and draw the shoulder blades apart. Deep breath in, nose to knee. 4 times. Pull it in, press it right back out where it was. 3 more times. Beautiful. Press it out. Lift the back of the knee to the ceiling. 2. 1 more time. And let's just hold it here for a breath. Now both feet together, stand up, reach to the ceiling. Deep breath. And back to the front, we forward fold, halfway rise, and circle sweep. All the way up, reach to the ceiling. All the way down, back to downward facing dog. Step back. Nice. And then with your tailbone, draw a circle on the back wall. So you're going to send your hips over to one direction, bend the knees. It goes to the other section, other side of the room, and then up over the top. All right. So just draw a circle on the back wall with your tailbone. And then switch directions a couple of times the other way. And one more time. All right. Now, rise up on your toes. I'm going to bend my knees and do this. And then I'm going to walk into the chair on my toes. And get yourself upright. Now, I'm going to ask you to try to balance here. So that may mean you want to lower down just a little bit. It's up to you. But on the toes. Slowly lower down. Let's bring the heels together and turn the toes out just a little bit. All right. We're going to do the same thing. Rise up on the toes. Now in this position, watch you're not pushing into the big toe mound. So get that baby toe on the ground. Roll into the baby toes. Draw the tailbone down and just try to balance again. And then lower back down. All right. Shake out. Shake out. All right. Let's go back to the right foot. You're going to bend the knee and press it down. Straighten the legs. Arms out. Tailbone right underneath you now. We're going to come into our triangle pose. Reaching towards that left wall. Windmill the arms. Use the chair if you need to. Reaching skyward or let that hand float down towards the leg. That right hand is reaching to the ceiling as best you can. Too much on the shoulder? This is okay. This is okay. All right? You can bind it up. Deep breath. Turn the gaze if you can. That's a lot of work on the neck. One more breath. All right. Bring that right back up. We're going to level out into our warrior two. Nice. Palm to the ceiling. I'm going to straighten that front leg now. So come into our reverse triangle. Now in this position, this hip's going to want to pop up. So what I want you to do is keep the tailbone drawing to the ground and reach to the ceiling. Beautiful. So nice. So nice. All right. Level this out into warrior two. Hands together. All right. Bring this foot back in. Yeah. Rise up on the toes. Try to balance. And then let's turn the toes out. Same thing. Rising up. Getting that little baby toe doing its work too. And down. All right. And shake both legs out. And then here we go. I'm going to take that leg out. Oh, straight legs, that's right. So both legs are straight. My left toe's facing the front. My right toe's facing the right wall. Or the right wall of your imaginary box. Arms up. All right. Take a deep breath in. We're going to slide to the right and then windmill the arms. Again, too much on that shoulder. Go ahead and drop that arm to the chair, your hip. What I want you to do is roll that left shoulder back. Let the hips push a little more towards the chair as the shoulders draw back. Yeah, beautiful. Big wide wingspan here, okay? Even if it's here, just find length in the arms. One more breath. Reach to the ceiling. Level this out into warrior two. So you're going to bend that front knee over the ankle. Reach to the ceiling. Here's our reverse. You can use the chair. And now straighten that front leg and then draw the tailbone down. So let this left hip drop away from the rib cage. And then firm up those legs like you haven't done before. Yeah, nice. Sink back into warrior two. Beautiful. And then hands to the front. We're going to walk that foot back in. Deep breath in, step back so you don't hit your face. Forward fold. Halfway rise. And that heart moves forward here, all right? Soften the knees as much as you need to, but you want to get a nice lengthen down the back of the legs here. So instead of this rounded back, I'm going to tip my pelvis forward here and get that great stretch down the back of the legs. Pull that belly in, a little tuck in the chin. From here, I'm going to release, bend the knees into forward fold, belly in, reverse swan dive all the way back up. Deep breath in. And with this candlestick pose, steeple pose, draw that line up the ceiling. Go ahead and let your shoulders ride up. Get an awesome stretch up here. Hands behind the head, lifting the heart. I call this lounge chair pose. And then let's go to the back extension. Actually, let's do this. Let's take the hands in the pockets, elbows back, lifting the heart. And standing camel pose. Nice. All right, release, come into mountain pose. Take a breath. Should feel that in the shoulders, should feel pretty good, huh? All right, let's grab a drink of water. I have no idea what time it is. Oh, good, 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 good. All right. So a little more balance. I'm gonna take the feet chair width apart. So the toes are gonna line up with the legs of the chair. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my toes out just a little bit. So more like my heels are lined up and the legs are out the other side. And we're just gonna rock side to side. Drop that foot down and then go the other way. You got the chair handy there whenever you need it. Legs are straight and you're just rocking side to side. Easy enough. Keep your breath steady. Keep the movement smooth. Let that toe leave the very last bam that comes up, all right? All right, so we're going over this side. I'm going to put one hand on the chair until I find my balance. Flex the foot, turn the toe to the front. It's going to want to come up to the ceiling, so turn the toe to the front. Yeah, and then maybe lift a little bit more. Reach those fingers downward towards the ground. Yeah. And I'm looking down towards my fingers. Maybe try to look to the front. Maybe try to look to the ceiling. That's going to draw that left shoulder back just a bit. I've got my hand on the chair. I'm not taking it off. Breathing deep. Now, bend that heel into your seat. Maybe lift the leg a little bit higher. It's up to you. Firm up that supporting leg. And then stand up, try to drop that knee down to the ground. Little version of dancer pose. Press the sole of the foot to the back. Maybe find balance. All right. And release that foot back down. Wide standing mountain pose again. I'm going to turn the toes out. It was a little version of half moon pose. Sort of reversed half moon because we had different hand up. That doesn't matter. Okay, same thing again. Just a little side to side. Oh, don't fall. That's why we have this chair here. Okay, and then we're going to go over to the left side this time. I'm going to use my hand on the chair. Now that toe, I want you to turn it to the front. Yep. Maybe look down towards the ground. Stretch the fingers down that way. And then look to the front. Maybe that's easier to do. And then maybe gaze a little skyward, and that's going to draw that shoulder back a bit more. Belly in, legs are firm. A little micro bend on the supporting leg, but it's working. Breathing deep. Now, bend the knees. Oh, that's the other thing I was thinking. This is candy cane pose, we call this. Right? dropping that knee down towards the ground. Stand up nice and tall and reach. Let's grab the body here. So the sole of the foot is going to press to the back wall. You can soften that knee. Really feel that hamstring work when you do that. And maybe find some balance. Nice. Hands at the heart. That's great. That's great. All right. I'm going to step back on that foot. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Halfway rise here. So tip the pelvis forward. You want to get that length down the back of the legs there. All right. And exhale into our chair pose. All right, that chair's handy. Now, let's watch the knees aren't buckling in. They're going to track right in the direction of the toes, and my feet are comfortably apart here. You can bring the hands into the heart. That's okay. Turn the tailbone a little more towards the ground to sort of open up that low back space. Now, from here, just what we did earlier, you can use the chair or the hand if you want to. Half powerful pose, I guess. Taking the gaze forward as well. Maybe try the other hand. Maybe try both of them if you can. You've got this beach ball right here once again, so you're going to fire on the abdominal muscles as you're squeezing in. You can keep the elbows bent, that's fine, but you're working hard. Reach to the ceiling. All the way back down, back to mountain pose. Settle in, notice how your legs feel. Whew, you worked all around that leg. Okay, one more. Sinking into our goddess pose. Shoulders on the wall behind you. Now, tailbone drawing to the ground. Squeeze the glutes. And then maybe we find a little balance here. One hand on the chair if you need it. Breathe. Without coming forward over the chair, maybe try to deepen the knee bend just a little bit. And now we'll take the arm or arms up in our goddess pose. Press the knuckles back. Maybe let the elbows come forward just a little bit to lift the heart. I'm going to drop one hand to the chair or the lap or the thigh and then reach to the ceiling. Turn the gaze if you can. My knees are still bent here. Pass through the center. Try not to straighten your legs. We go the other way. You'll get a break in a moment. Reaching, gazing up if you can. And all the way back. Cross the knuckles in front. Squeeze the elbows in. Deep breath. And then drop scoop the belly. Drop the elbows down towards the chair. And we'll lift up, around, stand up nice and tall, star pose. Now let's cross the knuckles the other way, if you can think of which one you did last time. Sink into this again. Drop the elbows towards the chair. I'm going to scoop the belly. Dome your back there. Reaching up, back to our star pose. Beautiful, beautiful. Lovely. Hands on the chair. Walk your feet in. Downward facing dog. Now take your feet up just comfortably apart here and sink into the knees. So you get a real intense stretch on the shoulders here now. You decide how deep you want to take this, but bending the knees. My ears are lined up with my upper arm, but I'm bending my knees and getting a nice stretch on the shoulders as well as the back. Belly in. All right, release. Now tuck the tailbone. You're going to round the upper body and walk into the chair, rolling the spine all the way up nice and tall. Mountain pose. You should feel like a dish rag that's been wrung out. We did a pretty good job. All right, let's get a drink of water. We'll sit back down. Nice work. All right, right leg up. Bring that knee inward and upward, and then pressing that low back forward here. Yeah, so for those of you outside in TV land, I'm going to press that low back forward and let the knee draw up even more. Belly in, sit tall. Okay. Oof. Okay. Crossing that leg over. You know if you've had hip replacement, hip trouble, knee trouble, you don't want to do this, that's okay. You don't have to by any means. But lifting up nice and tall. Okay. Now, I'm going to round my low back, get the belly away from the thigh, and then I'm going to come up onto the other side of that knee with my leg, with my belly. So they add a little bit of rotation there, sitting nice and tall. Holding firmly onto that leg if that feels good to you, or you can let it rest if that feels better too, but getting a nice twist to the right. Turn your gaze if you can. Drop the shoulders. You're using the arms to hold you here, so the shoulders are going to want to come up, so release them down your back. Coming back to the front, nice and slow. I'm going to cross this over, opening the hip up a little bit here. This foot is underneath the knee, and all parts of that foot are on the ground. You're going to really ground through that foot here. And then, again, you can hold up if that feels better, or press it down. I'm going to hold on to the outside edge. Sit extremely tall. There you go. Again, you want to press that low back forward. You'll feel that great stretch when you do that. You want a little more? Bring the heart forward. Not the head, the heart. Yeah. Lovely. And for those of you that still want a little bit more, maybe a little forward fold. Scoop the belly towards the spine, and then roll the spine slowly back up. All right. Extend it out in front. Rest for a moment. Let that spine heal. All right. And take the other leg up. And once again, off of the fleshy part of your seat. Roll to the tip bones, tip the sit bones, press that low back forward. And I'm going to cross over at my knee. And I'm going to readjust my hands here. So I'm going to scoop, I'm going to pull the belly away from the thigh muscles, little rotation in the spine, and then come up on the other side of that thigh muscle with your belly. That's an image, huh? And look to the left. Pulling that knee up. So whatever you are comfortable here doing, you can also just let it release down. You want to get into that fascia down there in that IT band. Another breath. Come back to the front. Same thing. We're going to drop this over. On the ground is just fine if that feels better for you. Sit tall. Hold it up. Push it down. A low back forward. And maybe a little hinge forward. You're going to feel tension. You shouldn't feel pain. And then maybe you want a little bit more. Take a little forward fold. Now belly in. Round over that leg. Take a deep breath into the back ribs. And then exhale slowly. Come right back up. Extend it out. Take both heels on the ground, but I'm going to hold onto the chair. And if you feel insecure, by all means, put one foot on the ground. I'm going to wrap my hands around the back of the chair. Hold on firmly and just lift the heart. Squeezing the shoulder blades inward, lifting the heart. Kind of a version of reverse plank, huh? Breathe deep. All right. One foot on the ground, the other foot on the ground. Those a little bit wider. We're going to slide down the legs. Now navel in towards your spine. I want you to pretend you've got a beach ball right here, and you're going to round over it. Scoop the belly. Let the fingers creep down towards the shins, maybe the ankles. Take a breath into the back ribs, and roll your spine back up. You can support yourself if you need to. Otherwise, just roll it right back up. Hands come back to the crease of the hip. Elbows up, lift the heart. Let's do one more time. You're going to round over this big beach ball. Dome the back, scoop the belly, rolling down. And roll back up. Lift the heart. And then just sit up nice and tall. Round through the feet. All right, opening your eyes wide. And without moving your face at all here, I want you to take the eyes over to the right, nice and wide, over to the left, up to the ceiling, and then down to the end of your nose or the mask. Always close your eyes, let them rest. And then this time we're going to move the face, but move the nose. Move the face, but not the eyes. So keep looking right straight ahead and turn to the right. Keep the eyes looking at me. It's kind of like you're giving me like a salamander or a lizard, like, what? And then we go the other way, same thing. You know how they can make their eyes go scooby. Other way. And then back. Drop your chin. Looking to the front. So you can't go any further. And then go the other way. So you can't go any further. You stop seeing everything. All right. Ah, scoot yourself back. Nice work. It's good for those muscles in your eyes. All right, legs out in front. Ooh, I need a little circle in my ankles. Look at my toes, wrists, and fingers. Yeah, that feels good. That should feel really good. All right, close the hands over. Yep. And then put it in the most unnatural way. Same thing. And then all the way up to the ceiling. Deep breath in. Now, curl the fingers in. Curl the knuckles in to the wrists, to the elbows, and reach to your toes, round the back. Scoop the belly. And we'll come right back up. Voila. And sit back in the back of the chair. Settle on in. Feet down. I have to say that. Yes. Nice deep breath in. Breathing in, exhaling a little bit longer than the inhale. Through the nose, out through the nose. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And bringing the hands together at the heart. Eyes open, soft gaze. If you missed it on last Monday, the holiday bucket list, the 2 things I love, be present and be the light. Namaste. The full holiday bucket list is over there on the edge of the counter. I encourage you to take one. That's my 2 favorite lines in there. All right, nice to have everybody this beautiful sunshine day. This is a good day to get outside. I will see you all again on Wednesday. We'll do it again, which starts December, I think, right?
Yep. You're going to come back Wednesday?
Have you spoken to your friends? I'm so sorry for her because she's not, I don't understand what she's doing now. She's really close to this performance. I hope so. I hope so. Yes, I feel so bad. So, boy, I'd love to know that she is. I did, yeah. What, you want more? Oh, you know, I got some, I bought the golf cards this time. Yeah. Because, so that's what I got the golf. What's it doing? Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Yeah. Yes. Yesterday, I went to TJ Maxx, Lunge, but I didn't know. I felt 4 seconds. Yeah. And what I'm gonna get. Yeah. That's right. My son said. But he got a break. Yeah.